This is a great question, asking about how to find stability when we're doing single leg exercises. I know the question was specifically about split squats, but let's talk about single leg exercises. My comment was that I loved split squats because we get this connection between the foot and the glute. Okay, so a lot of people are doing split squats, they're going down, they're going up, they're going down, they're going up. Whether it's regular split squat, front foot elevated, rear foot elevated, also known as a Bulgarian split squat, okay? They're just going through the motions, and I love that because something's better than nothing. But I want to find a connection between the foot and the glute. Every single time I take a step, every exercise that I do, and I'm in contact with the ground, we have things happening in our feet. They're really intricate. I'm not going to dive too deep into them. You've probably heard some buzzwords like pronation and supination and all that fun stuff, flat foot, whatever. So I want to learn how to connect the foot to the glute. And a lot of people lose this connection. I want you to think about when you're curling. Are you wearing your tiny little fists in your curling shoes? And watch how my body changes. I'm exaggerating, see how things open, okay? Maybe I need to lock out at the knees if the feet are tight and they're not moving. So I want to talk today about talons, a term that I use called talons, rooting through the foot and connecting it to the hips. Okay, I think of kind of the hip as an all-encompassing core. We've got hip flexors, we've got adductors, we've got abductors, we've got hip extensors, but we want to be able to connect it to the foot. So really bare minimum, okay? When we talk about talons, I think about, I don't know too much about birds. I have a feeling they have more than 3 talons, but let's pretend that they do. Okay, on the bottom of my foot, I want to imagine a talon coming out of the very front of my heel. I want to think of a talon coming out of the ball of the big toe and the ball of the baby toe. So just starting off, like without even getting into a split squat, can you feel connection to the heel, the ball, the big toe, the ball, the baby toe, and relax your toes. Give them a little wiggle, okay? Often we start to get some issues with hiking the hip instead of shifting into the hip. Okay, we're not talking about that right now. I just want that connection with the foot without feeling like we have to grip with our talons. We're rooting down through that foot, okay? So in our split squat, when we're doing our split squat, I want you to feel the talons connecting and not having to rely on your toes. You might find you're holding a weight, you're going up and down, you're doing a hard variation like rear foot elevated, and you're wobbling, foot's wobbling all over the place. Okay, we're going down, it's doing this kind of stuff, it's not feeling stabilized. I would abandon rear foot for just a moment while you work on, can I stabilize and root through those talons on the way up and the way down. In that last video with Jamie, I talked about the hips back, ending up in a nose, knee, big toe. Okay, and making sure I feel like I'm rooting through that talon. Here's my challenge for you if you're looking for a little bit more stability and a little bit more connection to the glute of the front leg. And I'm just gonna do a basic split squat for you. I'm gonna go straight up, straight down. I'm gonna keep contact with those talons, trying to relax my toes. If I'm kind of going forwards and backwards, look at that movement and pressure that's leaving the foot. This is a common issue, this feeling of going forwards and backwards, okay? I want you to put more of your body weight, let's say 60% of your body weight over those talons on that front leg, okay? And I want you to keep that pressure through the talons, relax the toes, okay? Keep that 60% pressure all the way down and all the way up, which means I have more of a straight down, straight up feeling, okay? So this is straight down, straight up, okay? It's a little bit more of a heel, especially bottom, wiggle your toes so you feel that butt muscle, okay? So going back to what we don't want, we're pushing back a little bit too much into that rear foot, okay? We want 60, 40, and we're thinking nose, knee, big toe, straight down, straight up. I might not get to straighten this knee fully, and that's okay. It's not the end of the world. To me, it's all about the head. So when I get rear foot elevated, okay, this is a tough variation. Put a weight here, whatever works for you. Okay, I'm thinking about keeping, okay, what rear foot elevated does is it puts our body weight forward. It puts that weight forward into this foot, and I want to keep that. So I'm not too certain how close you're looking at my feet. Don't look too close, it's free. Okay, but I want you to root through especially the inside of the heel on the way down. Okay, we're finding what was called pronation and supination naturally, okay? We're not gonna talk about that right now. That's too much. So this hopefully answers your question about how to find a little bit more stability in a split squat. It transfers, okay? When I get into a step up, rooting through the talons, or am I curling to the side? Am I getting too much in the front of the foot? Okay, so step up. Okay, same idea, trying to make the weight go through that foot, that leg. It transfers the talons when I'm doing a single leg hinge or single leg deadlift. Okay, feeling the talons, watching if the feet are, watch if I do this unsupported or without a weight. Okay, the tendency for that side to side motion, look at how unconnected I am to the hip. Okay, whereas if I think a little bit more, this is hard. Okay, it's hard for a lot of people, through the talons, through the front of that heel, getting that nose, knee, big toe. So hopefully that answers a couple of your questions, clears a couple of things up for that. Happy to answer more. I'll send back to you, Jay.